Hi guys, good afternoon. So let me start. Yes, we'll not wait much now. Let me start with. So, guys, today we are, gathered here for some 1.5 hour, 2 hours of the session where we are including the four topics. Okay, we are taking the questions and answers related to those four topics. So in that there are CDM, okay, and along with the CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical coding, and regulatory affairs. These are one of the most important the areas of the clinical research and the pharmaceutical industry when you look at the career aspect. When you look at the career aspect, these are very important and quite highly paying and some common jobs in the pharma industry or medical industry or whenever you go to the medical device industry. So pharmacovigilance, clinical data management are the part of clinical research definitely, but these are some valuable assets of the clinical research and independent career options also. So someone after B Farm, after M Farm, after PharmD, or after PhD can go into these fields, right? They can choose medical writing, they can choose pharmacovigilance, CDM, medical coding, regulatory affairs. So to discuss on these part only, today we are gathered here and we have called our faculty members, and this will be a kind of, the class also for the people who are joined, who have joined us in these courses. Why it is because see, when you are starting some course, when you are, studying something, you must know the in depth of their career options, what you are going to get, what you are going to do after this course, how you are going to get into the industry. Okay, how you are going to get into the industry. So our today's motto, our main agenda of this 2 hours or 1.5 hour lecture is, or interactive session is like, we will take your questions and our faculty members, dedicated faculty members, will be talking about all these four domains. Right, for CDM, we have our expert faculty, Mr. Ram. He has been working into the industry for 15 years. He has been trainers, for many people, and he has trained almost 560, almost 600 people in the CliMed also in last 10 plus batches. And he's very expert of the clinical data management, and he takes our classes, and he will be taking your classes as well. Our ongoing CDM class, he will be taking all the classes. And just now we have completed the ICA GCP training also for the CDM, right? Which was one of the compulsion, which was one of the important aspect also for the CDM. And similarly for the regulatory affairs diploma also, medical writing diploma also, and pharmacovigilance diploma also. We have completed your ICA GCP training, which is one of the integral part and important part for all of you to have the ICA GCP certificate, which is recent one, R3E6. And now you will have that certificate, and definitely, because you have done the course with us, so that certificate is very important. Now your core classes will be starting. Okay, so before we dive into the core classes, it is important for all of us, for all of you also, to know the career options and what skills do you need, what kind of jobs are available, what is the salary, right? And how can you approach the industry for these jobs, right? So to discuss these all with you, with us, we have with us the faculty members, right? For like for CDM, as I told, Mr. Ram is there. For okay, and which session, I don't know. We'll see that. Okay, the certificate I told by Wednesday or by Sunday you'll get. Okay, so let's not let get distracted by these things. Okay, so we will be talking about these all parts today, these all sections today, these all problems today, and majorly we'll be talking about 10 minutes about the topic, each topic, and then we will take your questions. Okay, whatever questions relevant to your discussions, relevant to your career options, or whatever questions you need to understand about these topics, we will be discussing in this class. Okay, so let's start with Mr. Ram. I think we have joined. Yeah, Mr. Ram has joined us. So we'll be talking about the CDM first. What is CDM? And he will be talking about what exactly can be done, what skills are required, what is the entry level job, salary, and those things Mr. Ram will be, talking about. So I invite Mr. Ram to, take over the mic here. Hi, Ram. Have you joined?
Hi, Dr. Ajit. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you very much. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you once again having me here. I'll be talking mainly on clinical data management, the required skills, and benefits of having an idea what is data management, or benefits of having this CDM certificate, especially for B.Pharm or M.Pharm or paramedics or other life science students in the broader way, I can say. And before I start, if you have any concerns related to the voice or the volume, please do let me know. I can able to talk more loud, but I feel this is fine. So I'm not sharing my screen yet because whatever I talk, maybe you can understand very easily. um, Everyone knows what is data. Data is nothing but any observations, any data point. I mean, data is nothing but any observations, any findings, anything that you observe is called data. Like let's say um, you're going to school and you suddenly identified some let's say that something happened to hand, right? That's an observation that you had. Okay, how come this happened in my hand? I didn't know this was not there previously. Or you found some pimple on the face, so that's an observation, right? So now you planning to do what to do with the next, do with like going to doctor or you do whatever, right? So before I talk again the what is data management, I've just heard that you've gone through certain certificate called that ICH-GCP, that is International Conference of Harmonization Good Clinical Practice, one of the important certificate that everyone must have. Because whenever you go for any interview in clinical research, when I say clinical research, it's a broader term. It comes regulatory affairs, it comes data management, it comes clinical operations, it comes to the medical writing, it comes to the regulatory affairs, it comes to the other any a number of departments. So everyone should know the rules and the regulations that what we do in the research, right? That is one of the reason that whenever you go for any interview in, I'm not sharing my screen yet, just give me 1 second. Okay, so whenever you go for interview, the most frequent questions that you get from is the ICGCP. The next is that whenever you go for any specific interview, since we are mainly talking about the clinical data management, let's talk more about it. Right? There is a research that's happening throughout the world, around the world, right? Especially when I call recent clinical trial that is everyone aware of is that the COVID. Why did this happen? Why did the COVID clinical trial happen? Because there was the huge pandemic situations that were, thousands of people killed, and trillions of the dollars or the millions of the dollar have been spent on the treatment. What happened? What exactly it caused? It caused humans a life. It caused the financial, and it also caused disrupted the entire the nature of the world, how we see the diseases, we see the world. And that is the reason that a lot of companies, like, maybe I don't mention a lot of companies, but if you see the biotech, if you see that there are other companies now, Pfizer or Eli Lilly, they're working on this COVID vaccinations. They've worked in COVID vaccination. But how did this help? This helped to stop the pandemic, and it helped people to ensure that if someone takes these vaccinations, and if someone carries this vaccination in their blood, I mean in their body, it can stop the particular virus from happening in their body, right? Or else, if during our childhood, we used to take a lot of vaccinations, right? Like a polio or mumps, measles, or other vaccinations. But why we take such vaccines? Because we get immunity, so that when we contact this kind of viruses, when we contact this bacteria, we don't get that kind of diseases, because we have protected immunity, we got immunity. So that's what happening. But how does it the clinical trial helping me as a life science graduate or a science graduate? The polio vaccination, in order to create a polio vaccination, it took several years. I can say, and several years, when I say it's many years, like more than 15 years. That means in order to bring any vaccination, in order to bring any molecule, I mean, drug, whatever the drugs that you see in the market, right? Even the smallest, the drug, till the cancer medications, it takes many years to bring to the market. And there are a lot of phases. But let me give an example. When we go to the college, or when we go to the school, and we start our education from LKG and UKG and the first class, second class, third class, and then we reach our desirable education. But why do we have to go from first class, first standard, then second standard? Why? Because in each step we learn some kind of basics of our education. So in one places we learn numbers, in one place we learn ABCDs, then we learn the tables. A lot of things we learn from one class to other class. And same thing happens in the clinical research. Why does it take many years? Because it takes many years because in order it's not very easy to read any molecule in just a second. Just let me know once you can see my screen. Yeah. And it's very difficult to understand sometimes that what kind of um, um, adverse events it is causing, what is the long-term adverse events, or whether it is the right medication to the right disease or not. Because there is no medication for, we just don't buy the medications in the pharmacy. We just don't manufacture in the manufacturing plant. In order to manufacture those, in order to buy those medications, there's a lot of research and development happens at the back end. That is, it takes minimum maybe 10 years or 8 years, depends on the medications, depends on the therapeutic area. Now, the research occurs in 4 different phases. That is a phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone knows it. Everyone is aware of it. Like how we have our education to the primary education, secondary education, junior college, then higher college, then bachelor's, master's. This all to learn different steps of our education, different steps of and they become more into the specialization in one subject, a specialization in one chapter, or one kind of let's say if you see masters, we specifically focus on one kind of department. That's what we do. But without having a basics, you will never able to, or you will never able to come to the such a specializations. That's what we do in the clinical trials. We try to understand the compound understanding on the compound characteristics. We understand that what can it cause, or what may not cause because of this molecule. Let's say that you might have shared in your pharma educations, pharmacokinetics and the dynamics. What does it to the body, or what kind of reactions it can cause to the body, or what body does to these medications, like the way it absorb, the way it metabolism and excretion. A lot of things that we read. I'm not going to deep depth of every information, but I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to make you all understand that what is the important of this data. And now let's say that every time I give this medication, every time I give this trial product to the patients or so-called subject, I need to understand that whether this disease is curing, or I mean this disease is reducing or not, whether it is curable or not, or what is the reactions it is giving to the body. And how much medication I've given, should I increase the dose, should I decrease the dose, or when I give this medication, what is this vital signs, what is this adverse reactions, like did he get the fever, did he get any infusion related reactions, did he get any chills, or apart from that, now I've given the medication for the last 6 months, and now let me do the MRI scan, let me do the CT scans. How does the cancer cells looking now? Or let me look into the cardiology, let me look into the dermatology, let me look into the any trial that you take. If I just study the medication never helps. I need to have the data. Let me give one more example. Let's say that you study for your master's or the bachelor's, you study for 10 hours in a day, and you go to the college principal and say, hey man, I studied for 10 hours per day, and I need to have a certificate. No, they would ask you to write an exam, and the exam tells you the marks, something tells you whether you pass, fail, or you get, distinction, you get award, whatever it is. The marks, something tells you whether you can go to the next year or whether you complete your education. Same way, when I am doing the clinical trial for 10 years, when I am doing the clinical trial for 10, 15 years, and that will never help us. But the data that I am collecting from every subject who is participating in a clinical trial is something what tells me whether this medication can be released into the market or not. The drug can be releasing into the market only once it proves safety and efficacy. Is it safe to take, and is it effective? Can it reduce the disease? And will the patient get any adverse events if he takes this medication? And that's what the question is. So these research related questions will be answered throughout these 4 phases, but with only data. So when I'm using this a term called data again and again, you might have understood that how important it is. But who's going to manage this? Who is going to handle it? To do the clinical trials, we have hospitals, we have pharma companies like a Pfizer, Lilly, Amgen, Roche, Novartis, Novo Nordisk. These are our sponsor companies. There are CRO companies like IQVIA, Fortia, and Parexel, and PPD. There are many companies who are working on these clinical trials. And I have a clinical research associates. I have regulatory affairs team to get the approvals. And I have a CRAs who do the operations, like knowing, having an idea that how the clinical trial is happening at each hospital. And I have the like, let's say that investigators who performs the trial. I have trial coordinators who work at the hospitals. But what I don't have is that the person who collects the data. And that's where the CDM comes into the picture. The clinical data management who manage the data. Correct, right? Why don't we get 100 to 100 in exams? Because we write a lot of mistakes, right? What kind of mistakes you write in exams? Like, a right question to the right question, wrong answer to the right question, and you forgot to answer completely, or you missed to write some question. That's why we get less marks. Otherwise, if you write everything, you'll get 100 to 100. So do you really think that people don't make mistakes? People makes mistake. So especially in a clinical trial, there are a lot of mistakes happens. So what we do here, we use multiple systems, multiple applications to capture or to collect subject or the patient data. And the clinical data management sits also in the one remote place all over the world and clean this data, ensuring that we are giving this data. This data has a complete error free. But where this data is going, I've already said, drug has to prove that it is safe and effective. And that's where it goes to the regulatory authority. Imagine that when I'm giving the data to the regulatory authority, how correct the data should be, how informative this drug should be, so this data should be, how error free the data should be, how complete the data should be. That means a team called data management will ensure to clean this all the data and send this to the regulatory authorities to get the drug into the market. And you might have understood how important it is, right? And now what kind of the people or the actors that there in the clinical study? There are many people. You have regulatory authorities, you have a research team, you have a lab team, you have hospitals, CRO. And anywhere, whatever you do, if you see this yellow color, that is very important here. I'm not saying these people are not important. These people are important only when you put this data into the data management handle. And that's where, because see, let's say that I told patient has an adverse event. Fine. Now, wait, I'll forget tomorrow. After 10 years, I'll forget. After 1 year, I'll forget. So we will document in the data management applications, and there is a team who is going to review this data, who is going to have this data. You see here, once we have a data management, and the data management cleans the data and sends for the task stat analysis and give this data to the regulatory authority for the approvals. Everyone works to get till here. No, the different job positions that are available. I'm not talking about the rest of the right side three, but I'm only talking about the first 2 points, that is the data managers. And if you see that the clinical data management is the person is responsible for processing the clinical data in the study. That is, we track the data, we enter the data, we review the data, we clean the data, we code the data. But how does it help? So throughout this clinical data management course, we're going to talk about different systems, different people that are involved, different data points that we collect, different steps that we follow in the data management. That's what we're going to do when we start those sessions. But now, right now, what you should be aware of it. How does my career looks if I capture or if I secure a data management professional job? If you ever ask me what is the best career that you can choose after your life science, I would definitely, first thing my comes into my mind is the data management, then clinical operations, regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance. That's how I narrow it down. But so you might think, so why it's so important, or why do you think it has very important in the data on the in the in the clinical research? Because everyone do their job and everyone documents it, but only thing that main part is the data, that the data which is managing by the clinical data management. One person is enough? No. So there are many steps in the clinical research, like a study startup, conduct, close out. So we need data management personnel at these three steps. Study startup, we look into the protocols, we ensure that what is the data points that is important, that is very important. Again, I'm saying that is what is the data point that is important to bring my molecule to the market. Then I will write a data management plan. Then we will ensure that review the data, because there are some trials, phase 3 trials, which happens in many countries, like 30 countries, 40 countries, even countries. So we grab or we capture the data from these many countries. Imagine that how much huge data, you need 100 of people for that one. And along with that, we clean the data from the errors, that and ensuring that this data is free, this data is correct, this data is error free. And that's where the data management plays a very key role and the critical role in the clinical research. And the pay is very good. And if you see, I still remember there was one guy that not one guy, two people that I placed in Bangalore for data management. The start salary was almost 39,000 rupees back then in 2023. Now 2025 it changed a lot, it increased a lot. And you have a plenty of opportunities in the clinical data management, because without data no one can go do anything. And if you have the data analytical skills, like such in interest into more reviewing the data, interesting into that interpretation thought, this would help you. Now, what is the skills that you would need, or what are the skills that that you should have before you start a career, before you start applying for these jobs? One is that have an idea, have an complete idea, everything on clinical research, uh, everything, like rules, regulations, principles, everything, like one is that if you look into that ICGCP, yes, that's one important. And have a course certificate on the data management, which gives an idea that where we're going to talk about multiple applications, multiple documents, everything that we use in data management, how we review the data, how we clean the data. Now this whole process, this certificate of process will give an idea on how the data management works. The second thing. Third thing is that have a clear way of understanding on the way you communicate in the interviews. Like only 50% would help you, the whatever we teaching you, but 50% what we teach you is that how you should communicate. So like let's say that how, I mean, we teach in the sense of like when we during the sessions, like I would ask you to talk, I would definitely ask you to answer this, so I would understand like the way you're communicating. Maybe I would give you some advices, like, so because in 50% of interviews, they mainly looking into that how you talk, the way you are delivering your part. Everything about clinical research, everything about data management, but what you don't know is that how you communicate, and that's what we need to have as skills. So these are three steps that you should focus more on till you get the job. And once you have an idea on this process, these steps, and I don't think so it would difficult to get the job. And maybe, just to give a clear idea that, a lot of folks look into that, what kind of jobs that we look into, a lot of companies that we look into. There are many companies, every company that we mentioned, like an Eli Lilly, Pfizer, Med, Amgen, Novartis, AstraZeneca, and these are not somewhere outside of the India. These are all inside of the India. And if you see Amgen, this was not in India for almost, this was there, this company was there in for almost 100 countries. For the first time in India, they started in Hyderabad, Amgen. Bristol Myers Squibb, same way. They almost have 6,000 people in Hyderabad. Amgen is planning for 6,000 people in Hyderabad. And if you see Novartis, or if you see J&J, and if you see Bayer, if you GSK is there in Bangalore, and if you see Eli Lilly, it's there in Bangalore, and if you see Roche, if it's there in Pune. These companies are being into multiple states in the country, where it helps you for your entire career. But what you need to have is that, the skills that helps you for your career, like, understanding on the research, understanding on the, especially your way of interest. Like, for example, you have interest in the data management, then take up this course. Or you have an interest in the other, but make sure that you learn everything. Good. Any questions that you want me to answer?
Yes, guys, put your answers, put your questions here. We will take your questions.
The source
Yes,
of what are the source of collecting the data? The source of collecting the data is that the clinical trials that we do in hospitals, and we do
yes,
collect these data points through the lot of applications. Like, you have a Facebook, you have WhatsApp, right? Likewise, we also have a called Medidata Rave and Oracle
absolutely.
to collect the data points. Any company offers the
Uh,
jobs, guys, I would definitely tell you that, just don't look for the place when you are a fresher. Because, when you want something, try to go for it. Just don't ask for to come to you. Okay, so there are smaller CROs, there are clinical trial hospitals in Delhi, but try to expand your zone of comfort. You'll get better opportunities. Opportunity in Gulf countries, I hear a lot in Gulf countries, especially now Saudi and Dubai. They're expanding so much. Can you go in a practical approach for mid-career public health research? I don't know. HR is now not complete. That's not my department, actually. But an opportunity for the 4 years student could try get rid of freshers PGs tax before trying to enter field of PV and data management, context of internships, portfolio. Okay. Yeah, the internship would definitely help you, but nowadays it's very hard to get internships actually. But you can definitely look into that. In PVs, you get a lot of internship opportunities. I've heard many.
yes, absolutely. And you can do some skill development courses as we provide and everywhere. So you can do some skill development courses in your second year and third year, and then you can use those skills to get the internships. And then definitely, when you are passing out from the college, you will have the strong skills and strong experiences with you to get into the industry directly. Okay, definitely. So somebody is asking, being the MSc biotechnology now, can I start into this path?
Of course, you can.
Of course, but I mean CDM definitely. I mean even the life science graduates and life science people and health science people all can go to the medical coding and medical. I mean this clinical data management because that is not very specific to the subject. Okay, I'm second year of B pharmacy student, sir. How can I start for medical coding? Just as I just told you, like you can start with the some skill development courses so you can understand the basics and then you start practicing and in your final year get some good internship. And once you are clearing or passing out your course, you will have strong skills and experiences. You can join there. What is the best job role in clinical research as a fresher? Mr. Ram, over to you.
So what is the best job? See, I would definitely say Um, Kushi Patel. If it is a girl, I would definitely say data management first. Why I said, because I would first, for boys I would say clinical operations, like a clinical research associate. It contains a lot of traveling.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can select for the data management. You can go for the pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance will be little hectic, but that's why you can go for the data management, then for the regulatory affairs, and there are plenty of other departments keep coming into the clinical research, guys. Within the clinical operations, we have a center monitoring, we have CRAs, we have trial assistants, we have trial coordinators, we have a there are other, okay, medical reviewers. There are many roles actually, and anything that you choose would be fine. Maybe regulatory affairs, data management, clinical operations.
Yes, absolutely. And okay, this is a very technical question. What kind of patients, what kind of age in the patients can be enrolled? All pages, I mean, it depends on the clinical trial, the objective of the clinical trial, so any age I mean, can be required for the clinical trial. There are the clinical trials in the kids and neonates, infants, and in the adults, in the elderly people. So it depends completely on the drug or the clinical trial or the objective of the clinical trial. Okay. How should I working as a on a research paper? That I'll tell you, Om Bahar. Okay. I'm studying M-Pharm. Is studying M-Pharm compulsory? Okay. Ram, would you like to answer this?
Which one?
I
Which
think in
one?
aspect of CDM, joining CDM.
Which one? Which one?
Is studying M-Pharm compulsory?
M-Pharm, if you already started, complete it. Okay, just don't leave it in between. But if you are planning to, if you have a strong wish to do some research, and yes, you still can go ahead. And if you have some PhD plans, yes, you can still do it. And but if you do not have any desires to go further education, if you want to start a job, yes, it's not a compulsory to have a
Yeah, it's not
master.
compulsory. Yes. I mean, always having the master degree is an advantage for your salary also, for your job profile also, for the, so it is always having an added advantage. Okay. Always having an added advantage, but not compulsory. Is it better to go for PV jobs after B Farm or M Farm? And if so, what is the difference in salaries? Yeah, that even I would like to ask you, if Ram, you can answer, like, what are the job descriptions, a little bit of, in the regulatory affairs and PV and medical writing and CDM, and which one gives you the, I mean, better start in this in aspect of salaries?
Um, in terms of okay, first let me explain you what we do in each team. In the data management, we collect the data, we review the data, we query the data to the sites, and we clean the data. And when it comes to the pharmacovigilance, we get a lot of case reports, like whenever there is a serious adverse event or whenever there is
Yeah.
a SUSAR cases, we get to understand whether this adverse event or whether this serious adverse event related to the particular medication or not, to understand with
Yeah.
the relationship between the drug and the event. And the regulatory affairs mainly focus on the approvals at the site level or the country level, the study level. They focus more on the regulatory aspects, like arranging the documents and sending for an approvals, looking into the CTAs, like in clinical trial applications, and submitting these to the local IRBs and the central IRBs.
Yes.
And
Yes.
other question, medical writing. So the medical writing, they made main focusing on protocol writing and ICFs, the document writing. So if you ask me, good salary or I would definitely say data management, but the additional income, like for example, there are hundred of serious adverse events happens for every molecule, every
Yes.
drug. So now what the companies does, like CRO sponsor company does, that they will assign like 10 cases per PV, pharmacovigilance person in one day. And let's say that they have more volume of cases, more volume of adverse events, then they'll ask them to do the overtime. So there's one of my friend who earned almost 1.5 lakhs in a month, and
Yes.
salary was
Good.
just 50,000. So but it is kind of very hectic actually. Sometimes you keep doing same work again and again, and you will fed up one day. Actually, I have a lot of friends who moved from pharmacovigilance to data management after some time, or who moved to clinical operations after 2 years, 3 years. And when it comes to the regulatory affairs, it's very interesting. You'll have a better career, better future in the regulatory affairs. And when it comes to the medical writing, I don't suggest, because until unless you have interest in writing, but I don't suggest that, because it's kind of, you need to have the technical skills, like, understanding more into the grammatical skills, more into the understanding on the drug and the product details and everything. So the better choose would be somewhere, data management and the regulatory affairs. And but there are also other options like clinical operations, where you can go for the CRA. First, you can start your career as a clinical research coordinators, or go to the clinical trial assistants, or go to the clinical trial specialist. And then from there you can go to the CRS, clinical research associates. Then that will help you to move to the project lead or clinical lead, and the clinical project managers, and so on. I think I'm supposed to take only 20 minutes, but am I continuing it, Ajit? For BDS, I would definitely say there is a role called a medical data MDR, medical data reviewer, in companies called IQVIA, Seniors, or Covance and Nova Nordisk, Novartis. This pays well actually. You can try for that, especially for a BDS and MDS people. Medical coding is too good, but unless you have a certificate for it.
Okay, so I think
Yes, one thing that everyone talks about salaries, and I see it depends on that.
yes,
You do it, how
true.
better you do in the interview, and how better you negotiate. You say that you selected for a role, but you don't have a better communication skills, and they've definitely to put you down, I mean, the normal salary. Again, every company has their own way of bandwidth, like, for each category of role they will have a bandwidth. So even if you plan for, oh no, I want 50,000, they don't, until unless you have that bandwidth. Okay,
Yes,
do that.
absolutely.
As a fresher, your focus mainly should for the job. Just don't think about the salary and the place. If you are a fresher, just think about the company, what is the better company, how this role would help you for further. Like I told you, right? You choose a CTA role, that's trial assistant, very good. Or you choose a project associate, that will help you to go for the project manager. Or choose the CTA role, that will help you for the clinical trial manager, and then go to the global study managers. Or you choose the clinical data coordinator, that will take you to the data clinical data manager. It's all depends on that what role you chose. So if you're really focusing on the salary, then just for, let's say that maybe beyond 30,000 or 40,000, that you can have a benchmark of it.
Yes. So guys, see, always I also tell them the same thing, Ram, that you should not look at the, frankly, I seen two things actually. One is people ask for the certificates in every webinar, every these things. If it is not useful, frankly, say, it is a recognition that you have attended something for 1 hour or 2 hour. It is very important. Okay, recognition. But along with that, you should look at the impact of the things. Okay. And similarly, when it comes to the salary, you should always look at the start, how you are starting and how impactful it will be in the future. It is not like you are, you have to start with the 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees immediately, or 30,000, 40,000 immediately. Okay. It's not like that. It goes with your skills. You can start with an internship where, they just pay you 5,000 or 10,000. I'm telling you guys, 5,000 or 10,000 when you are in the internship. Okay, learn well, show them the skills after 3 months or 6 months after the internship, and then you will grab the best opportunities. Okay, in the same industry, in the same company. If not, then you will have the skills and you can showcase your skills anywhere, and then your salaries will be increasing like anything. Your promotion, salaries, your recognition in the company. Okay, there are many people who just don't want to learn, who are at the same place, same position, same designations for years. They don't want to learn, they don't want to grow. They are happy with their 50,000, 60,000 salaries. But if you are enthusiast, you can get the good desirable salary, whatever you want, in 1, 2, or 3 years only. Okay, it is not always about getting the good salary in starting. It is always about starting good. Okay, starting the best, which will take you to the, you know, your desirable designation, your desirable jobs, your desirable, job profile, your desirable salary. Okay, so always start something which is good for your future, which is good for you, and don't think at the salary perspective. Don't look at the salary when you are starting something. Okay, starting well, learn the skills, and then you will definitely get it whatever you want. Okay, guys, I hope it is very clear for all of you, right? And if there are some questions, we will take now.
I
I think,
want,
yes, Ram,
Rajesh, I
please.
want to add here something. If you see a few years back, maybe if I'm not going for a decade back, but if you see for 2 3 years back,
Yes.
now let me talk about only Hyderabad. In 2024, 2025, Hyderabad has got Bristol Myers Squibb, Amgen, and
Your voice is little low, Ram. If you can little loud, you can be little louder, please.
in last 2024,
Yes.
2025, 2023, Hyderabad has got Bristol Myers Squibb. Hyderabad has got Amgen. Hyderabad has got Sanofi. Who's the
Yes.
mainly almost going to have 20,000 employees. Each company, their GCC, Global Capability Centers, they're planning to have a 6,000 employees for each company. Their target is that. Even more it can
Yeah.
be. So you see that 18,000 employees you can see in this three. And if you see Pune recently, Roche has started expanded their company so much in Pune. And if you
Yes.
see, because just because the sponsor companies are coming, they're also getting the new trials on the board, because we have a lot of employees here who has a great ability of working and extending hours and working skills and all. There are more opportunities for other companies also. We think that only CR1 sponsor, but there are other companies like the device companies like if you see Viprime works on the IRT. You don't understand what is IRT, but I know that. So IRT is mainly works on the drug development, drug distribution. So IRP is one of the biggest company. Now IRT get more project. Now they're coming to Hyderabad. They're moving to Bangalore. So right. So you have plenty of opportunities, but all you need to have an idea on that how this system works, how the clinical trial works. This all you get during this course. That's what me and Ajit was trying to say.
Yes, absolutely. See, he has told you the clear-cut things. Okay. And I'm getting some comments on like, how to start. Okay, how to start. I just told you how to start. So starting is very important. And how to start is, see, it is not that, people always come to me, sir, how to break this, fresher tag. So, yeah, definitely see, people want the person with some enthusiasm and with some skills. Every big company or small company, anywhere if you are going, they need some kind of experience or some kind of enthusiasm. So how will you show your interest to the company? You cannot just go with any CV to the company and say, I want this, I want the job in CDM, I want to do this. No, you have to prepare yourself. You have to show, that is the recruiter's mind, right? You have to show the interest. How you will show the interest? Do some skill development courses, do some internships. Okay, companies offer the internships. Go and join some internships for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then you go to the industry will not say no, because they will see that you are interested in this particular field. You have done something in this particular field, so they will take you as a permanent employee, right? That's how you start. There are the people like who goes from the campus placements and direct placements, and by the references. There are multiple ways, but if you want to go by yourself, do something, show some interest by learning that subject enthusiastically. So do some skill development courses and go for the internships, right? And then put your CV with the correct way, and then you showcase into the interviews, industrial interviews, and I'm very sure you will be hired. Okay, you will not have the, and you will be able to break this fresher tag. Okay, are there any courses for regulatory affairs and PV? We have all the courses. Okay, so yes, and somebody is asking if in the Gulf countries, everywhere, these big companies, like, these big companies are everywhere. In India, every big city, as Ram told, that, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Kochi, and Chennai, Goa. I mean, everywhere they have the centers. Okay, and definitely in big cities like Gurgaon, Delhi, Chandigarh. and Mumbai and Kolkata, and these are the hubs. Hyderabad is the hub, Bangalore is the hub. So this is Bangalore is not only for the IT, but if you look at, there are pharma, medtech, all the companies are there in Bangalore as well. Okay. Okay, so I think we have a lot of questions. So guys, before we start with another, topic, thank you very much, Ram, for clearing the doubts and presenting. It was wonderful having you on board. And now we'll go for the medical coding first. Okay, now we'll go for the medical coding. We have Ms. Charanjit ji with us, who is also a working professional, working in the industry for more than 5 years, and she has been, training the students for last 5 years, and have been training in the personal batches and training with us also. And she has trained almost more than 1,000 people again in the CDM. So she is with us. She will be talking about medical coding. Sorry, she will be talking about the medical coding. You can ask. But before we go for that, I want to just announce something. So I want to announce something. Our all the batches, of the value-added courses are starting today itself. Many of are starting today. Many of have been starting. Started last week also, and some courses may start next week also. But right now, today, the last date for some courses was, it's already gone. But as we are having this, workshop, having this, career opportunities, question and answer session. So what you can do is you can join this course. We are opening this opportunity for all of you. If you are interested, please join these courses with us. So let me just show you, take 2 minutes. Clinical data management, this is a 3 months course. Mr. Ram will take all the classes. It is starting today. Today is like, this is the career opportunity class, and the fees is just 2,999 for all 12 to 13 classes. Okay, this is 3 months fees. 3 months fees is just 2,999. Okay, for this course. Okay, and in this course, if you just check out the brochure, you can check out the brochure in the website also. Okay, these are this is the full syllabus what we are teaching. And if we look at the price again, I'm telling you, the price is 50% off for everyone, not for only you. It is just, you just have to pay 3,000 rupees, 2,999. And for our interns, it is half of this also. For our interns, if any of the intern want to join, they can join at the price of 1,500 only. Okay, and medical writing we also have. It is also starting today. This is a diploma, executive diploma, and the fees. This, you can see the course content in the website, and you can see the feedbacks of the past batches. And the fees for medical diploma is just 5,000. Okay, just 4,999 for 6 months. In that you are getting the, you are getting the books also. You are getting the 2 months industrial internship also in CliMed with different, with separate certificate. Okay. Similarly, we have the diploma which is starting today for the drug regulatory affairs. Regulatory affairs, again the fees is 4,999, and you will get all the recordings and relevant material. Okay, and you will get all industrial learnings. Industry, we have all the faculty members from the industry who are working in the industry. Okay, and then the pharmacovigilance diploma is also starting today. I mean the new batch, and the fees again is 499, nine, right, 5,000. And then we are starting the medical coding also. Okay, we are starting the medical coding. Fees again, because it is executive certificate course, fees again is 3,000, 2,999. Okay, so you can join these courses today also, though the dates are gone. But we are especially opening for the people who are participating here. You guys can attend these courses, and along with that, what we provide is very important. We provide the job assistance in these courses. Job assistance means we refer you to the companies. We give the recommendation letters, and we tell about the jobs. We conduct the we conduct multiple mock interviews, and a lot of other things we provide from our side, right? So you can, from when core classes are starting, from next week. So this is also a core class, guys. You don't understand what is core class means. Okay, core class is not just learning the CDM. Okay, ICH GCP was, many of you are confused. ICH GCP is one of the integral part of clinical research that has been done intensively for 2 weeks, and that will be done for the people who are joining new. Okay, core classes means not only you are learning the CDM 4 classes. Otherwise, I will offer you 4 classes of the CDM and your CDM is done. But CDM is not only CDM. CDM means, to understand the clinical data management, you have to understand the side things also. You have to understand the clinical research also. You have to understand the cycle also, right? Side of cycle of the clinical research. You have to understand the drug development also. You have to understand the data collection also. right? So what is CDM? What is these classes? Classes, these syllabuses are comprehensive, including everything, whatever is relevant. Okay, so we are not providing you anything additionally. We are giving you whatever is required. Okay, similarly, जैसे ICH GCP was required, so we provided. Even in the CDM, it is required. It is very must. You should be aware of the guidelines. Okay. Can I do two courses at the same time? Yeah, you can do. Okay, sir, I'm the BDS student. What are the eligibility criteria for getting placement to pharmacovigilance? I think your BDS is the perfect eligibility. Will I get CPC certificate for medical coding? Yes, to see, we are not giving the CP certificate. That will, I think these questions we can take later. But now let me, go to the next faculty member here. Our next faculty member here is Ms. Charanjit ji. So over to you, Charanjit ji, to talk about the medical coding. Please start. So Dr. Ms. Charanjit ji, as I just told you guys, she is, masters in the healthcare background, and she is teaching the students for multiple years, taken multiple batches, and she is also working as the manager in the medical coding international multinational companies, right? So she will be taking your next class. Yes. No, no, right now offline classes are not available for this.
Thanks,
Yes.
Ajay,
Over
for
to you.
the wonderful introduction.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let me start with the topic itself. Let me share my screen. So what I'm going to do today, we will introduce everyone with the medical coding. That what is medical coding is.
And guys, for the diplomas, we have the installment also. Installment, if you want to pay 5,000 in two installments, first installment is 3,000, second installment is 2,000. So you can pay in the installment also. Please connect with us. Yes, it is visible. Over to you. Please go ahead, Charanjit ji.
Thanks, Dr. Ajit. So while you are taking the session, I can see that persons are asking the questions about the CPC and the medical coding. So let me introduce to you with the medical coding first, that what we have to do in the medical coding. In the medical coding, we have to go through with the complete documentation, the complete report, and we have to change the documentation into the universal codes. So basically what we have to do, we have to transform the long PDF reports or the transcription of the visits in the three main codes. That is ICD. We will use the ICD to represent the diagnosis. Next, CPT. We will use CPT to represent the procedures, and the SCPCS codes to represent the supplies which has been given during the visit. So all these three manuals are approved by the WHO and given by the WHO, published by the AMA and the AAPC, and we have to find the codes from these three manuals only. There is no other manual except these from where we have to find the codes for the medical coding. So in the later on classes, we will learn how to use these manual, how to find the code, what all are the guidelines we have. So any questions in what is medical coding is? Any questions so far?
No, I don't think so.
Perfect.
Yeah, but there is always a question, Charanjit, what is the difference between medical coding and medical data management? Okay, and yeah, that's the major question what they ask.
In the medical coding, we have to turn the reports into the data. And in the data management, we have to learn how to keep the data.
Very
Is I'm able
distinct.
to answer? Uh, Let me repeat it one more time. In the coding, what we have to do, we have to go through with the complete documentation and need to transform that documentation into the data. And while learning the data management, we have to learn how to keep the data, how to store the data, how to clean that data. So these two are the different entities. Ajit, is I'm able to answer your question?
Yes.
Perfect. So let me go further. Then next question is why medical coding is required. Okay. So someone is asking the difference between the medical coding and the medical writing. I'm not in the part of the medical writing, but in the medical coding, what you have to do, you have to transform all the documentation what you have in your report into the three codes. You have to define ICDs, you have to use the ICD code to represent the diagnosis. You have to use procedures, CPT to represent the procedure and the supplies with the SCPCS. And now, why the medical coding is required? You will get the reports, and let's say one patient having a hypertension, and one person is using submitting a claim with the word HTN to represent the hypertension, and another person is using a reading also just. And so, without medical coding, it is very difficult to keep the data to understand that how many persons or how many individuals have the hypertension, how many individual came with what kind of disease. So to keep the data for the data management, it's medical coding is a part of our data management. So to keep the data, what we have to do, we have to change this particular diagnosis in a universal code. So for the universal code, we have I10 to represent the hypertension. So medical coding is a part of the RCM service. Now, what is RCM service? RCM service is in revenue cycle management. This is a cycle created to help the providers to get the reimbursement for the services they have provided. So whatever services they are providing to the patient, we have to submit the claim for that, and then insurance will pay that money to the provider. So to get that money from the insurance for the provider, this is a cycle has been created, RCM service, or what we call RCM cycle. So the first part of our RCM cycle is credentialing. This is something a backend work where provider needs to be enrolled with the insurance. Then billing, we have to assign a particular fee schedule for a particular procedure. And then we have a coding as in part of the RCM services. What we have to do, we have to go through with the complete documentation. We have to summarize that documentation and turn it into the codes, and then we have to submit the claim with the codes. We cannot submit the claim with the normal diagnosis written in the paper. We have to use a universal code for the coding to submit the claims. Any questions so far? And P pharmacy. Okay. So I'm going further. Now, what is importance of the medical coder? Why we need the certification of the medical coder? We need the certification so that we can understand the guidelines of the billing.
Charanjit, can you make it full screen, please?
Oh, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is importance of medical coder. So what we have to do after getting the certification, basically a CPC certification from the AAPC, we have to learn how to do the accurate billing. What is accurate billing? Accurate billing means we have some sort of guidelines approved by the WHO or a major authorities that needs to be followed while billing the claim. Like we cannot bill a same diagnosis or an integral part of a particular diagnosis twice. Let's say patient have a tetralogy of Fallot as well as right ventricular hypertrophy. So right ventricular hypertrophy is a part of a tetralogy of Fallot. We cannot bill these two things together. So with the help of medical coding course, we have to learn how to do the accurate billing, what we have to bill, and what is the integral part of the another condition. So in during these classes, we will learn what all our guidelines we have. So medical coding is required for the data analysis, as I already told you that once we have the data, once we transform all the diagnosis into the particular codes or the procedure into the codes, then we can review that data. We can run the report to understand how many patients have this particular diagnosis. Once we take care of the patient provider coding, then nurses and the patient can do the better patient care. Next thing, clinical documentation improvement. It's a part of the CDM. So, what is clinical documentation improvement? Clinical documentation improvement means we have to go through with the documentation. And there are some scenarios where we can see that provider haven't specified the condition completely. Provider just mention a particular part and haven't mentioned completely. It does not provide the linkage between these two diagnoses or three diagnoses. Then we have to go to the provider to tell him that this part is missing in the documentation. So in this way, we will help the doctors for the clinical documentation improvement. Let's say patient have a fracture. A doctor does not mention the laterality or the site of the fracture. So we have to go back to the doctor and have to ask where the fracture is, what type of the fracture is. So we help the doctor to get the clinical documentation improved. Next, we have facilitates reimbursement. This is a very basic thing. We help the doctors to get the reimbursement for the procedure, whatever they are providing. If they are providing the supply, we have to bill for supply. If they are doing any procedure, we have to bill for the procedure. Even patient provider is just doing the visit, the evaluation and management only. So we have to bill the E&M visit also. So we have to facilitate the provider to get the reimbursement for the service they are providing. Moving to the next one. The main question, what the scope of medical coding? So medical coding is a booming field for the pharmacist candidate, BDS, MDS. In the USA, almost we get 80% work from the USA. However, the supply is 40%. Supply means currently we have a 40% coder also. And that's the reason medical coding have a great salary packages right now. Even after a 2 years, person is able to get the 1 lakh per month salary. So currently, we are not able to provide that much medical quota than required. So we are at the 40% at the level of supply. However, we are getting the 80% work from the USA. This is the referenced by the financialexpress.com education. This I have mentioned the source here so that you can go there and review what is the demand and supply ratio there. So medical coding scope, if we talk about the scope of the medical coding, we have the scope in the MNCs, hospitals, because now in India we have started using the ICDs, we have started using the diagnosis codes. So these are the best companies in the industries. I have mentioned these are the top 8 companies I can say. There are so many other small companies which I haven't mentioned here. These are the top only. So these are the best MNCs company which are providing, which have the more than 20,000 and the 10,000 coder right now in their companies. So these all are the MNCs. And the question is why we should be a coder. That why we need to become a coder even after doing the pharmacy and even after doing the life science graduations. So the first thing I have already told you that demand is very high. And then next main thing is job stability. Job stability means that medical coding offer a job stability as well as the security. Healthcare services are always in demand, as you already know, regardless of the fluctuations, the rules we have in the US. So, and also we are not able to fulfill the supply, the demand. That's the only reason we have the job stability here. We does not have the too much competition in this field right now. Flexibility. We can do this work from the home. You will see you can get the offer for the work from home options and the remote work options. So we have a good work from home companies, the companies who are providing the work from home in this field. Career advancement. So I already told you that even after a year or a 2 year, you can reach to the good salary package. Even after that, you can move towards the positions like team lead, assistant manager, and the manager, and so on. Competitive salary. Competitive salary I have already covered. Okay. So Priyanka have a question. I can see that is just a, can AI replace it? No, AI cannot replace the medical coding. Even though now we have a new certification in the medical coding, that is CAIMC, that is AI in medical coding. But AI is not able to replace the medical coding job, because in the medical coding we have to use the judgment. Sometime we have to go to the provider for the CDI, for the clinical documentation improvement. What AI can do, they can provide the suggestion, but the final coding should be based on your coder's judgment, that what code should be used and what should not be, what should be the integral code or what should not be. So AI cannot take the jobs for the medical coding. What kind of documentation are coded? Can you give? We have the document, we have to use the documentation for each department. Like for wound care, we receive a different type of documentation. For the cardiology, we receive a different type of documentation. So we will receive a complete report for the patient. Let me see if I have any report right now. Just give me a second, huh? So I'm going to pull a sample report which you will receive after becoming a coder. Just give me a second. So this kind of report we will receive, where we have the chief complaint, HPI, that what the patient is currently doing, what is the history of the condition. So then we have the physical exam, the review of system. So this is a basic structure of the documentation which we are getting in the India also. This is a physical exam, wound assessment. So this is a wound care documentation. We will get the different type of documentation for a different department. We have the different type of documentation for the cardiology, we have a different type of documentation for the psychiatric department. So every department is different, and the type of documentation is different for each department. So this is one of the example where we will this is the example of the documentation. So who was this question? Okay, Namrata, how to simply ICD for disease burden estimate. Namrata, I didn't get your question.
Did you take this question work from home?
Okay, work from home chances for the freshers. So I personally prefer for the freshers, please don't go for the work from home opportunity. First, groom yourself, go for the work from office opportunity first. Learn completely. Once you are done with the training, you know how to do the live coding, how to do the coding in the live charges, what all are the guidelines. Then go for the work from home opportunity. Even though you are getting the work from home opportunity as a fresher, please don't go for that. Yes, we do have the options, but please don't go for that. Okay, I'm moving further. Okay, so I'm just taking the questions right now. I can see one person is asking, uh, we will not know all the ICD codes. So how to simply that to know the number of patients? Namrata, we don't need to know all the ICDs. As I already told you, we have a different manuals for each of the type. Like for the ICDs, we have to use the ICD manual. This is a kind of a dictionary we have. We have to go through with this manual, which we will learn how to go through with this manual. Once we are done with this manual, we learn how to use the manual. After that, we need to use this manual as a dictionary and need to find the code for that diagnosis every time whenever patient is coming for a visit. Next question is how we will get to know which code for which disease or term. Please clarify. So this we will learn in our later classes, that how to use this manual. I'm just going to give you the brief. This is a manual which I'm going to provide you. In this manual, we have a index to disease and injury. In this index, we have to look for the diagnosis. Let's say patient have a abasia. So you can see here, this is an abasia and our code is F44.5. Easy. So basically we have to use this as a dictionary only. So this is a kind of a example only. We have a number of guidelines for the ICD which we will learn for in the later classes.
Yes.
Uh,
Guys, you will get this manual and all the question papers you need to prepare for CPC. Okay, this is the training what we are providing for CPC. Along with the certification, based on that, you can join the company, join the job. Okay, so medical coding is an amazing course with us and very much successful course with us. Okay. CDM is better medical coding. Okay. I think that we have discussed. Mr. Ram was there and Chanji ji is there. So based on your interest, you can choose which one is better. Both are independent career options. Both can lead you to the good job options in the future also. There are the director posts, at the end. You can promote, you can get good salary, good money, later. So both are there. So you just have to choose according to your interest. Okay. Yes, Chanji, go ahead, please.
okay. So I have added the screenshot for the Naukri.com. Here you can see that even at the fresher level, you are able to get the work from home opportunity. But I prefer, please don't go for the work from home opportunity at the
Yeah.
initial level. Look for the work from office and the salary packages we have here at the fresher level. So I'm going further. These are the specialities we have in the medical coding. So even after getting the CPC certification, you have the different specialization of options for this medical coding field. You can go for the inpatient coding. You can, oh, sorry, my bad. So these are the specialities which we have.
Yes.
You can go for the outpatient coding. You can go for the inpatient coding. You can go for the risk adjustment coder. This is a kind of coder which needs to uh, predict the risk of the person. Then we have a ambulatory surgical coder, specific anesthesia pain management coder. So that after the coding, after the basic step is CPC. Once you are CPC certified, then you can go further for the other options for the other specialization.
Yes.
So I'm going to stop my screen. Perfect. Now we can take the questions.
Yes, you can take the questions.
So how to enter into the field of medical coding fresher after the 4th year B Pharma? So the next step would be you have to take the training. You have to clear your CPC certification by the AAPC. Once you get the CPC certified, you will be the certified coder.
Yes. Please tell me which have the high job opportunities and chances in future in pharmacovigilance and clinical data management. I will say both, but yeah, as Mr. Ram was telling, pharmacovigilance is quite easy to get, and you will get internships easily in the pharmacovigilance and job also easily in the pharmacovigilance. Okay, Aparna. Ma'am, how to get certification? What is the process? Can you please just put some light on this?
Yes. So I just already told you. I'm going to reshare my screen.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So Priyanka, what you have to do after your graduation or even at the last year of your graduation. Okay. After your graduation, you have to get the training for the medical coding and you have to get the CPC certification from the AAPC.
Yeah.
AAPC is the only institute who will provide the CPC certification. CPC stands for Certification in the Professional Coding. Once you clear that examination, you have to pay the certification fees here at the AAPC. Once you get the certification from the CPC, after that you can go for the fresher level in the medical coding field. So you have to train yourself, clear the CPC certification examination, then you are the certified coder. Priyanka, clear?
Yes, I think okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Is medical scribe different? Yes, medical scribing is different, completely different. Medical scribing is something when you get the patient's data in the voice format or video formats and you have to transcribe. You have to transcribe that. You have to make the transcript of that data after listening, reading, everything. So you need the, your listening and, reading skills there. And then you will code it. Definitely coding is a part of scribing. One part of scribing. It is needed there also. But in that, there are actually your listening skills and reading skills are important, so you can understand, and along with that you should know the taxonomy very much. Okay, so medical taxonomy is very very important to understand that. So there are multiple parts of the medical scribing. Being a BDS student, how to start my career in pharmacovigilance? By doing some internship, doing some course. Again, Shruti, you can join our pharmacovigilance course. You can join anywhere. I'm not telling you that guys that you just do it here, wherever you find it good, but do some skill development course. Developing skills are important. Okay, develop some skills, so it will show the recruiter that you have some interest in this subject and they will hire you, right? So skill development courses, internships, and then you are good to go for the job. What is the passing marks to get this exam? Okay, by comparing CDM, PV, RA, and medical coding, which is more related to our 4 years course, also give good package. It is completely upon your interest, but yes, CDM, PV, RA, if you look at these are the different sections, part of the clinical research and the hospital work, right? So definitely, if you want to go, like, it is totally upon your interest. You want to go to the, medical coding or pharmacovigilance. So all have the different job profiles, right? All has the different job profiles. So you have to understand the interest first. Okay, based on the interest. And if you look at the package and all, definitely there is a little bit difference. PV is very common, so a little less money, definitely a little less money, but high growth. Okay, RA is a niche area. RA and medical coding are niche areas. So starting is quite good. Okay, but as medical coding is not well established in India right now, they are establishing completely. Okay, but we are one of the main workforce for the Western data on medical coding scribing. So we are having the skilled people in medical coding, and they are working for that. So it has overall everything what you have mentioned are having good scope, but definitely medical coding and CDM are the niche areas along with RA. As in compared to PV, PV is quite common. So getting job is easy in PV, and getting growth also is easy. But yeah, payment is good always in the niche areas. Okay, that's my observations. Can we get job in medical coding without CPC certificate? I think yes. Yes, Charanjit, would you like to comment on this?
Yes, there are few companies who will provide you the job without certification, but they will ask you to sign a particular bond because they will train you to get the certification. So to
Yes.
run, to stay in long term in this field, you need to get the CPC certification. There are only few, one or two companies who will hire you as a fresher. They will provide you the training to get the CPC certification, and for that you need to sign some bond with those companies.
Okay, sir, in regulatory affairs, not mentioned in qualification, Farm Ds are eligible for all the courses what you are mentioning here. Farm Ds are eligible for medical writing, pharmacovigilance, medical coding, or CDM, or any course related to healthcare. Farm Ds are most eligible people. How the workload in medical coding job? Okay. Yes, workload.
It's a normal workload. What I can say that you will get the weekly off, 2 days off, Saturday, Sunday fix off, and there will be a 8 hour shift.
Yes, medical coding works or medical coding or any certificate from CliMed is valid worldwide. Our people are working in US as well, Australia as well, and in UAE as well. Okay, along with that, CPC to definitely is worldwide, right? If you are taking the because in US mostly they are taking CPC. So after our training, you can clear the CPC. You can try to for the CPC and you can get the certificate, and those are valid everywhere in the world. Okay. What are the companies hire medical writing? Mostly the CROs and all the companies, all the big companies, including Pfizer and all, they have their own pharmacovigilance because every company who is manufacturing the drug, who is marketing the drug, are into the pharmacovigilance, okay, and into the medical writing. So these are the integral part of any pharmaceutical company, okay. Yes, companies like AstraZeneca, Novartis, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Sun Pharma, everyone, Cipla, Cadila, everyone, every company has these wings. Okay, every company has these medical writing and pharmacovigilance, as mandatory part. Yeah, it's better to join. Okay. For going in IP drug medical coding, what should we have to do and what should we have to do in IPG medical? What is IP drug medical? Okay, I think. I,
IPDRG is a kind of a inpatient coding. So
yes,
I prefer not to go in directly into the IPDRG field. First learn the basic part. First learn the CPC. In the CPC, you will learn the basic ICD and the CPT and the supply coding and their guidelines. Then go for the IPDRG. IPDRG is the most uh, in-depth training for the inpatient training. So it's a kind of a specialization in the inpatient training coding. Sorry.
yes. Sir, is internship of material vigilance relevant and used for job opportunities in pharmacovigilance? Definitely, material vigilance is the part of pharmacovigilance. Material vigilance is the part of pharmacovigilance. Okay, so how many medical coding companies are there in India? Okay. There are two questions for you. Then we will, close your session, Chiranjeev, because now we have, pharmacovigilance as well and regulatory affairs. Priyansi is not joining today. She will be joining some other time, but we'll conduct this later. No problem. And we have almost, cleared the regulatory affairs answers, in the ongoing sessions. Okay. So there are two questions for you, Chiranjeev. How many medical coding companies are there in India right now? And how much does the CPC exam cost?
Okay. CPC exam cost will be 65,000, which you have to pay in the dollars. Like there is approx $700, so
Yeah.
which costs approx 65,000. And right now I don't have the complete list. There are so
Yeah.
many companies and there are
Yes.
so many new companies right now in the
Yes.
India. So I don't have the exact number for that. Sorry for.
Yes. Okay. No problem. Thank you very much for joining, Chiranjeev. Wonderful. It was amazing, and you have cleared all the questions, and I hope it is done. So now rest. We'll take care. Okay. I'll take some questions. Why regulatory jobs opportunities for fresh graduates is very limited. Most job advertisements expect 1 to 3 years of experience, but how can fresh Ray, I just answered this, Umesh. You see, in some niche areas, they want to see your interest and enthusiasm. For that, you have to do some skill development courses. You have to, upgrade your skills, and then you have to do some internships. Then easily you can break this freshers tag because you have the skills with you. They don't take the freshers who don't have the skills, but if you have the skills, they will 100% take you. Okay, there is nothing. See, if the companies are not taking the freshers, then how there are the people in the companies? Do you think that without freshers they can run the companies? Some companies are just grooming you before entering into the main job by the internships, by the skill development. That's why you need the skill development and jobs. And you can join some startups for that, for 1 year 2 years, and then you can gain the experience, and then you can jump to the big companies, you can jump to the renowned companies, right? Like that it works. In vacancies not mentioned qualification of PharmD, it's not necessary that they will write the PharmD category, but it is there. Many of my friends are in the regulatory with PharmD, not only in India but outside also. Does medical science license come under regulatory affairs? No, that comes under medical affairs. We are running the medical affairs course, which is halfway right now. So that is coming under the medical affairs, not the regulatory affairs. Okay. Can we get the job in Hyderabad? Yes. Is there are two options, first drug regulatory affairs and QA department, so we could prefer first and press. I think yes, the comment. That's not a question. One of my best friend currently working in IP Ghaziabad Metro Vigilance Department. We got to know about material vigilance by Ajit sir. Now, one he's earning well. Yes, yes, definitely. Where to do the internships? Yes, we will suggest the internships definitely. Sir, is it good to go for pharmacovigilance after BDS? Yes, after BDS, there are certain, jobs in the pharmaceutical and medical company which are really good, like medical affairs and then pharmacovigilance, medical writing. These are common areas where, the people from medical, dental, and Ayurveda even can enter, and they have the, really, really good impact. Okay, and they get the good salary. Okay, there are the salary differences also. So medical affairs, medical writing, pharmacovigilance, and sometimes HEOR, health resource, health economics and outcome research. You can definitely go for that. Okay, Shruti. Now I think we should not delay and we should go to okay, Ashish sir, are you here? We should go to Ashish sir. He will be sharing the, he will be sharing and talking about the pharmacovigilance. Okay, so over to you, Ashish sir. And Ashish sir is also working in the industry for almost, sir has the 12 years of experience in the industry. And along with that, he is teaching, he is training the people in, pharmacovigilance for years. And in multiple institutions, he has been working that. And he is teaching our students. He is training our students for last many years. Okay, so over to you, Ashish sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ajit, giving me the opportunity to speak on the pharmacovigilance. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. And just let me share my screen. So, most awaited topic is like PV. People are asking so many queries from PV. So,
Yes, absolutely. And we will clear out their doubts.
yes, so I
Absolutely.
will not, without any further delay, I will start with what are the, like the today's session
Absolutely.
is, what is the career opportunities in the pharmacovigilance. So just a brief about pharmacovigilance, like what is the pharmacovigilance actually? Pharmacovigilance is nothing but it is the science which is related to the monitoring, detection, assessment, and understanding of the and prevention of the drug-related issues or any untoward happening with the drugs. That is called the drug adverse event because of the any of the medicines. Like and why this PV is very booming because the drug development procedure is on the way, and when you are saying drug development procedures are increasing, there is a global regulations are coming into the picture, and when global regulations are coming into the picture means you have to have follow those global regulations to fulfill the requirement and get the all the approvals so that your drug should be in the market, and when a drug is in the market that should be a safer for the use to the global public, and to ensure those safety of the drug PV is required. So that's a very small brief about the PV. In detail, we will learn when we will go in these, courses. And like, what is the overview and outlook for the job in the industry? So like growing demands, like as I told you, the PV is the one who is taking care of each and every functionality, and they are also controlling the drugs when it comes into the market. Like everything else is still the like when you are saying the clinical trial, when you are saying some drug development procedure, those are till the drug is not into the market. But the PV is the one who is the with the lifelong of the drug. Okay, whether it is in market, whether it is in a clinical trial. So because of that, the global need is increasing day by day. And when we are getting aware about the PV, so that governments are also implementing those regulations, like you have to have that PV department in your industry. Right now in India also we are running the PVPI program, material vigilance program, other that is hematovigilance programs. Those are like for blood, for vaccines, for medical device, for drug safety. Okay, what are the essential roles in the PV? It is basically to ensure the patient safety by identifying any of the drug adverse reaction which is associated with any of the drug which is present into the market or before coming into the market also. If it is not in the market, it is in the trial phase. Then also if there is any adverse reaction associated with any drug, that can be minimized. So please, so our prime job is to minimize that ADR before coming that drug into the market. And when we are saying to the implementing to the technologies, that likewise technology is booming. So that PV field is also dynamic. They are evolving themselves with the newer technologies like AI is coming. So we are now you have to train your brain with the AI, that how you can compete with AI. So what other speakers are saying, that human brain is always supreme. Every time AI cannot judge anything. They have certain codes which on which they are working. They have to give that when they are getting those codes, then only they are providing certain readings. Okay. But human brain are there who will provide the judgment. Okay. So you have to work in a sync with that technology, that how AI is working in PV. These are basically for the, like when we are saying the narrative writing. So yes, you can put certain fields and you can get the full narratives. Like if you will just put the patient detail, you will put the event detail, you will put the whatever the reporter detail, then they will have certain templates, they will fulfill your narrative requirement. So that's how PV is evolving themselves with the need of AI as well. So that's how the burden of manual work is getting decreased and AI is implementing in PV fields as well. Like when you have certain reports format document that is called XML, when you have to pull those reports from the authorities website, and you have to directly run into the database, that will give you all the pre-configured data. Okay, so that's how AI coming into the picture. So in the PV, okay, so there is, as I told you, human brain is always supreme, but the judgment is always required whether the case is serious or non-serious, whether it is a fatal condition or not a fatal condition. That can be judged by human brain, that cannot be judged by any AI system. Now, when you are coming to the key roles and the career path for the pharmacovigilance, so there are so many jobs in PV, like entry-level jobs, like mid-level jobs and senior level jobs. When you are saying the entry-level jobs, so those are the jobs for the people who are freshers to 2 years of experience. And what are those designations they are giving you as a designation of pharmacovigilance associate, drug safety associate, or case processor. Okay, that involve mostly for the collection and processing of the ADR report into the safety database. That also include the triaging of the case, that include the booking of the reports. Okay, you need to generate the codes, you need to generate the coding, that is called the registration of the and case numbers of the any of the PV system. And next is the like clinical research coordinators. While it is not a strict PV in any of the industry or in any of the site, then it comes under the clinical trial phase 4 is also part of PV. When you do not have the separate PV department, you must have the clinical trial department, in which you have to have that phase 4 trial that also ensure the safety of drug. Okay, so you can join as a clinical research coordinator. That is also part of PV. And when we are talking the mid-level jobs, so what are the mid-level roles? Mid-level roles are basically for the people who have 2 to 5 years of experience. Those are the drug safety specialist, clinical safety officers, signal detection specialist. So signal detection is also a part of PV. based on certain drug and event where you have to search certain kind of signals, whether it is a novel or it is a predefined signal. If it is a predefined, if something new, like there might be some specificity is new, or the instance for which it was happening previously, is there any increase in the intensity of the ADR? Is there any increase in the severity of ADR, or this was same as previously? If it is something increased, like previously it was non-serious, now it is a severe, then it is something new. So that's how you can detect those kind of signals based on certain databases. There are certain databases that have like those so many databases which are providing you that you have to just put the event and the drug and whatever the result you are requiring, you have to just feed those things and you will get the required result. And if you are getting a result and there is a change in the result, then it might be a signal. But if there is no change, then it might be a pre-existing thing. And some other roles are like pharmacovigilance data analyst, medical writer in pharmacovigilance. When we are saying medical writer in the pharmacovigilance, so those are basically for the aggregate reports who have to write the PSQR reports, TSQR reports, and other clinical trial reports, or sometimes it is risk management plan, okay, that we have to finalize. And those are also core fields of the pharmacovigilance. Those are comes under the pharmacovigilance, the aggregate report writing, the DSQR report writing, or the RMP reports. So those are integral part of the PV, and you can join as a when you have the experience of 2 to 5 years. And when you are talking about the senior level job, so these are the 5+ years of experience where you can join as a drug safety associate to senior associate, medical like managers or team leads, which can oversee the PV operations, manage the teams and ensure the compliance, associate directors, vice presidents. So like as much as you are getting experience day by day, your salary package and your designation will increase day by day. And I'm not saying that PV is the only one. No, you know, whatever the fields we are talking about, whether it is CDM, whether it is medical coding or regulatory affairs, nothing is bad or nothing is good. It's completely depend on your skill and your passion. If you are passionate about writing, you can join medical writing, or you can join you can join the aggregate writing. If you are passionate about coding, or you need to know how to generate new codes, you can take the CPC certification and you can join the medical coding field. Okay, if you are good in writing stories or writing something, so like you can join as a narrative writer also. If you are something good in the interpretation, so you can join as a case processor in PV. Like people are asking, like I am BDS, I am MBBS, so whether I can join. So yes, MBBS MDs are the core members for the drug safety physician team. Okay, so and there is a step in PV always that is called medical review field, medical review step, that particularly dedicated to the person who are medically qualified. When we are saying medically qualified, so those have the doctors or MD peoples. Okay, and for BDS, we have the dedicated roles of the reviewer, those who can review those reports which are processed by the fresher people or people mid level peoples. Okay, now industries that hires the professionals, PV professionals, so biotech industries, okay, CROs, or with pharmaceutical companies, regulatory bodies like FDA, EMA, national health authorities. Someone is talking about the IPC, so it is again a health authority, okay, health organization, and very big consultancies which are specialized in the drug safety fields. Those are also hiring the PV professionals. So what are the skills you require to getting these kind of jobs? Actually, there are only two types of skill you need to require. Basically, the technical skills which is related to the job, like understanding of the terminology. You must have the pharmacology knowledge. You must know the databases. You must know the coding. What are the codes? What are the various type of codings available? There are whether ICD codes are required, whether MEDRA codes are required. Okay, those are certain technical skills required, like computer proficiency is also required, data analysis skills are required. And what soft skills are required, like you need to have the attention to the detail, when someone is saying the medical scribing, so it is also part of PV, because we have the medical information team on which you can report your case even on the voice email, even on the telephone line, and by listening those emails or listening those calls, you have to scribe everything into your database. So those kind of soft skills are required. You need to work with the team, you need to manage your time. If you have any foreign language, that is an additional edge with you while working in the PV. Okay. So educational background, like anybody from the pharmacy background, life science background, medicine background, nursing or allied health sciences can join PV industry anyhow. Okay. Higher educations like PhD people can also join PV fields. Okay. And when you are saying the specialized certificates, so many organizations which are providing the certificates, specialized certification provides you a specialized edge. Okay, like there are 100 people are coming into an interview, and only 10 people have that specialized certification. So you are already ahead with those 90 people. Now you have to compete with only those 10 people. Okay, because you have some certification of 6 months, 3 months, so means you already create a difference from that 90%, 90 people. Now you have only 9 other people with you who are competing with you, because those have the same knowledge. Okay, and these numbers may vary. Sometimes it is only you who have that additional edge. Okay, and if you have the hands-on database, and if you have the hands-on the medical writing things, so you are creating a difference from the bulk of the people who are coming into the and sitting into the or applying for a job. Okay. So so many people are asking about the what is the salary expectation. So PV are the dynamic field, and salary package is very handsome in PV, like in entry level from 1 2 lakhs to 4 lakhs per annum you can get. It completely depends on your communication skill. It completely depends on your writing skills. Okay. Mid-level people can get 4.8 to like 10 lakh, or now it is like 12 lakhs. And when you are reaching up to the senior level, so it is like increasing day by day, like 10 lakhs to 15 lakh per annum. And from reaching to the top positions, it is just a number that 50 lakhs per annum, but you can achieve more as you go. What Ajit is saying, what other speakers are saying, Ram is saying, you need to create some additional learning every time. If you are stop learning, if you are comfortable earning with 50,000 rupees and everything is fulfilling for you, then it is fine. But you are hungry and you need to learn something, and you are keep searching. You are kind of looker people. You are not sitting and you are taking additional data analysis course, data management course, some CDM courses, and you are creating extra edge that you are a person from PV of 10 years of experience. Now you have the data science experience. Now you have the PhD in data science also. So now you can go for some other opportunities as well. Now the top recruiters in the company, these are just a list. These are just a few numbers. These are not a complete list. There are so many players which are not in the list and giving you handsome package and hiring so many PV fields, or not only PV, it is like medical writing also, because these are the interrelated departments. So if a company have these PV fields, so they also have the medical writing department. They also have the coding department. What Charan is saying that for like 40% man force for US is coming from this India only, and 90% of work is coming from US only, because US government have that mandate to have that health insurance anyhow. Okay, when it comes to the India don't have that mandate, and we are looking in forward that that mandate of health insurance for every Indian should be there. Then that medical coding will be again on boom. Okay, that PV is again on boom, because everyone have to take that insurance, and everyone have going for the medical claim. Okay, medical reimbursement, because nobody want to pay from their pocket only. Okay. So in conclusion, the PV is very dynamic field and changing day by day, because regulation is evolving, and the technology is and advancing every time. If this is the era of AI, that is the era of chatbot, whatever, like Google Gemini is there, Chat GPT is there, whatever queries is there, you can put and you can get the answer. But you have to validate that answer by putting medical judgment. You have to validate that So now a field that is called PSV, that computer system validation, because all these fields like medical writing, everything is working on the computer only. So whatever the machine you are using, whether it is validated or not, so that era is again coming into the picture, that is CSV, computer system validation. If you are very good in computers, you can join that CSV fields as well. That is also a part of PV, okay, in which you can learn the data migration and each and every techniques. So now I am concluding from my end, and I will stop sharing, and I will take few of the queries along with Dr. Ajit. If you have any queries for PV, you can ask.
Yes, Ashish bhai. I think you have covered the best part. Like you have covered all the salaries and the job openings and the progress, and along with that, the skills required. And there were many answers. I think you have covered all those. There is one question from Shruti. Sir, as a BDS student, is it fine to do only diploma in PV without doing internship? I think that's okay. Okay, you should have the skills, you should showcase the skills. So if you are learning enough in the diploma or some certificate course, that is enough, right? But you should showcase your skills in the interview. It is not like just you got the certificate and you did not learn, you did not attend the classes, or you did not learn. The ultimate thing is you should have the knowledge, and certificates are just to showcase your knowledge. Okay, so I think that is perfectly fine if you want to join. I mean, if you want to go for the interview, you should have the knowledge, and definitely diplomas will give you the knowledge, but you should get it. Okay, and I think Shruti, that is a perfect thing. You can join it. Okay. Any other questions, guys? If you have any questions, please write to Ashish sir. People are asking, sir, you will provide the certificate. Yes, guys. So certificate will be provided by next Sunday. Okay, your all the certificates, whoever is filling the feedback form, you will get your certificates for sure. But by next Sunday or Saturday, mostly by Friday only we will give. Okay, not by Sunday. By Friday only we will give the certificates. Sir, can you suggest some organizations which offer internships in PhD?
So for PhD, what kind of internship you are looking for? You need to specify those things. If you are looking for PV internship, or what kind of internship you are looking for, that you have to specify. Then we can answer it.
No, and for the PV only, like which companies are providing the, if you have any some
So yes,
company.
yes, you have to apply to the, like, internship is like free labor for the industries also. Okay, they are giving very minimal, like, kind of stipends only, and you have to work for them. So they are very, like, open arms, giving you the internship into the industries. And but you have to go to those places, because being an intern, they will not provide you laptops into the your places, because you are just an intern and you are getting the stipend of 5,000. They cannot provide you the laptop of 50,000. So sorry for saying that, but yes,
Absolutely.
that is a truth reality. So
Yes, absolutely. So guys, okay, some question is there, does our 7-in-1 course enough to get a job in RA and MC? Yes, because that is a comprehensive course. We are covering all the domains in 7-in-1. If you are interested, you can join our 7-in-1, 8-in-1 course also. So 7-in-1 is having all pharmacovigilance, CDM, medical coding, regulatory affairs, I believe all is there in the 7-in-1. Okay.
so someone is saying that when if you are in 40s, you will get laid off. So I'm in 40s, but I am not getting laid off. Sorry to say, but it is just depend. It
That
just
was
depends on your
personal, but
knowledge.
yes, no, age
Just depend
doesn't
on.
matter for the layoff,
Uh,
not at all.
uh, it depends, like, whether you are, what contribution you are providing to the companies, whether you are doing just kamchori, what is saying, or you are doing dedicatedly work. That
Yeah.
depends on the person to person. If you are loyal with your organization, if you are doing with dedicatedly work, no rajniti, no chit chat, then there is no harm for any of the layoff kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Any other questions related to PV, guys? At present, PV has more scope or CDM. Both have the, see, both are the integral part, guys. Why don't you understand that? Both are integral part. It depends completely on your interest. Salary might be a little less or high in the starting, but ultimately, if you are having 2, 3 years of experience, you will have the same salary levels in PV and CDM both. PV and CDM and medical writing all are the integral part of clinical research. This is very important. Until and unless these drugs are, manufactured, these drugs are drug development is happening, all are needed. All are needed. Okay, PV has definitely, PV is very common, and PV has more, PV needs more people, PV needs more, manpower. So PV has more scope, definitely, other than CDM, because CDM is a niche area. So they don't need many people. They need, suppose in pharmacovigilance, they can occupy, they can accommodate 100 people. In CDM, they just need 30, 35. That's all, or less than that, right? So that is the major, concern we can understand. Is there any discount for CDM courses for already enrolled students? Only for interns. Only for interns, CDM is 1500 rupees only. Only for interns. Okay, any other questions, guys? Sir, how can I get job in regulatory affairs for PharmD? Because many companies prefer MSc, MPharm. No, 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 it's not. If you have the skills, if you have done something, if you have some certificates with you in the medical, sorry, in the regulatory affairs, definitely you are eligible. And PharmDs are most eligible for any job. I'm telling you, there are many PharmDs in these. Okay. PV needs MBA for promotion. That is when you are in the job, you can do, higher, degrees. You can get some, special trainings like MBA or something. If it is needed, that is not everywhere. If it is needed, then only you do it. Otherwise, it's not needed. It's not additionally needed. Sir, I'm the PharmD intern. How much I have to pay for the PV course? No, dear, it is not PharmD intern. It is CliMed intern. If you have signed up for the CliMed internship batch June 2025, which is like one internship batch every year, for them it is PharmD, not PharmD, like CliMed internship, that is 50% off directly. So for the PV diploma, they have to pay only 2,500. That's all. No, right now you cannot join CliMed internship because that is once in a year opportunity. And for this year, we have done with the CliMed internship, we have already hired. We already are, we are already closed the batch for 2025. Now the next batch will come in 2026. Okay. Guys, so with this, we will close it. And please, if you want to register, to our courses, you have to, message me. You have to message me, or you can just visit the website, what I'm writing. And we have already mentioned about all the courses, fees and all here. See here, you can just register directly from here also. Okay, you can register from here also. And the links will be shared in the group also. Okay, in the groups also, links will be shared. You can join directly from there. Okay, and there are the for diplomas especially, you can pay in 2 installments as well. Okay, for the diplomas you can pay in 2 installments also. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Your certificates will be delivered by Friday or Saturday, right? So thank you very much for joining. And today we have completed because early, 5 minutes early, because we don't have Priyansi right now with us. He will be joining sometimes, and then we will be talking about regulatory affairs, but I think majority of the parts of regulatory affairs, also the questions related to regulatory affairs also, we have covered. Okay, this is the form I'm sharing for the last time. This is the form I'm sharing for the last time. Okay, guys. Last time I'm sharing the form in the YouTube also, and here also, please fill this form. So people from YouTube and here, nobody will say that I did not share the form. Form is here. Please fill that and do it. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. What to reply, Chandrasekhara sir? I'm from graduate, which is better, ethical, either medical coding or regulatory affairs. That again, depending on your interest. I think regulatory affairs is good for MPharm. Medical coding can be done after bachelor's also. So that's not very, like you don't need MPharm for the medical coding for sure. But yes, regulatory affairs, it will help. Masters will help in regulatory affairs much more than this. RA internships, where we get in RA companies, there are many RA companies. All the companies have RA. Regulatory affairs and medical affairs is the integral part again, because without the ethics approvals, without the regulatory approvals, without DCJ approvals, without EMA approvals, you cannot, develop the drug, or you cannot market the drug. Okay, so regulatory affairs is also important. Every company is having these things. Which is best, regulatory affairs or pharmacovigilance? That you decide. I'll not say, because we have already talked about this a lot. Both have the similar things. I am the second year B Farm. So second year B Farm, you don't need to go for internship, but you can join some skill development course. You can get the skills in third year or fourth year. In fourth year, you can join the internship. And then once you are done with the B Farm, you can join the company. That is the course. Second year, you should not go for the internships directly. You should, develop some skills first. For B Farm, families all are good. I'm a PharmD graduate working as assistant professor, but I want to switch to the company. Which side is good? Which side means it is totally upon your interest. If you are good in medical writing, if you are good in regulatory affairs, if you are good in medical coding, if you are good in, pharmacovigilance, that's totally upon your interest again. But these all are the integral part, and there is no difference after 1 or 2 years of experience. There is no difference in the salaries also. Maybe the salary difference can be seen after 5 or 7 years, but not initial days. But if you are the assistant professor, you can go for any, I believe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day. Good Sunday. Bye bye. Thank you, guys. I hope you have filled the form. Bye.